I'm a little late, but it's time for this week's Vet Review. Now, this week we're not talking about horses. We're actually talking about goats, but because this entire series is due to Baby 7 giving us the connection to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, I figured he still needed to be the mascot of it. So today we have another new face. So Dr. Ursini has passed the reins for the small animals for the goat aspect. So today we're going to hear from Dr. Klosterman, who is going to explain about urinary blockages in small animals, especially with goats. Now, the reason this series, along with horses, small animals, what have you, is so important is because the more knowledge you can have about the animals you are caring for, the better you can serve them. And so growing up, I had a wether, meaning a castrated male goat, and he ended up having to be put to sleep due to urinary blockages. And back then, we just didn't know how to handle it like we do now with the knowledge we have now. And so I would like to extend that knowledge to y'all so that we can all better care for our animals. So I'm going to give it over to Dr. Klosterman, listen to her about urinary blockages, and I hope y'all enjoy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Klosterman at the University of Tennessee College of Veterinary Medicine in the Farm Animal Hospital, and this is the first video in a series where we're going to talk about small ruminant urolithiasis, or when sheep and goats get urinary obstruction. So to start with a little bit about it, these animals unfortunately are kind of prone to developing blockages in their urethra. I have a little diagram here. So as you can see, especially in the males, they have this convoluted pathway that it takes, and so stones can get stuck here in their sigmoid flexure and in their urethral process at the bottom. And so they're a lot more prone to developing these than what females are. So that's why we talk about these mostly in males as a problem for them. And so for these guys, we'll start with some clinical signs for what you'll see for this first video, and then we'll talk about other stuff in the follow-ups for the series. And so with these, we'll usually see some straining to urinate, and this can depend on the severity based on if they're partially obstructed or completely obstructed. Partial obstruction, then usually we can still see a little bit of dribbling to urinate, but you won't see a full stream like normal. For the complete obstruction though, we will then have goats that are straining to urinate, so they'll be posturing like they're trying to urinate. However, you won't see any urine actually come out. And so what that posturing can look like, it can also mimic some colic signs, where they're kind of standing with their legs stretched out. They'll have some abdominal effort, there may be some grunting, they'll vocalize in general as they're trying to urinate. It may even look like they could be constipated. So that's a common thing that we hear, is that somebody thinks their goat or their sheep may be constipated. However, usually that happens when they're just trying to force the urine out because it's so uncomfortable. And so some of those other signs that we can see is they can start to have some distension in their abdomen, and then this can start then with them being uncomfortable in that area. They may be tense on palpation, and so when you start to see these signs, it is an emergency, and so it is something that we recommend you call your veterinarian about right away, so that way then they can be checked out, because we would rather catch this sooner rather than later, because the later it is, the more complications they can have, which we'll also talk about a little bit more in the follow-up videos for this series.
So stay tuned for more videos of this series. Let us know what other questions you have in regards to small livestock, what other topics you would like for us to cover in this series, and I just hope y'all enjoyed. Hopefully my fellow goat owners and lovers found this helpful.